Hello, everyone. We are back finally after a 2-week hiatus. Will, how you doing?
Tired and cold. Tired and cold.
Tired and cold? Tired cold?
Yep.
All right. Just another fun-filled week for you?
A lot of hours. A lot of hours put into work.
I hear you. But anyways, glad to be back. It feels a little weird to be back in our recording room here. We had a nice couple weeks off in the mountains. Well, at least I did. Will was kind of partially up there, so... But thank you for everyone who's tuned in the last couple of weeks, too. We still got good ratings from the Good Pods app. We still hung in there with a lot of the top indie wrestling accounts and sport accounts, believe it or not. So, yeah, we appreciate every one of you who take the time to tune in and listen to all of us. But also back with us, our special co-host, as always, Heather. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Finally getting over my little health issue that I was having, so I'm doing a lot better. Thank you.
Have the flares gone down quite a bit on you?
Yeah, it's finally gone down. The pain isn't as bad, but I'm still really tired. But I'll take being tired over the pain I was going through.
Hell yeah. Take care of yourself first. Relax. Let's get you healed up. We don't want to Darth Vader you because we're already doing that with me and Will, so...
Yeah.
All right. Well, with everything going on, thank you everyone who has tuned in here live on Twitter Space. Let's get this party started. We're going to change it up this week because WWE side was so heavy this week. We're going to start off with AEW. Let's go ahead and go with the results. First match of Dynamite, the Trios Championship was on the line. Death Triangle retains against Best Friends. Match number 2 for the AEW Interim Women's Championship. Toni Storm retains against her partner Hikaru Shida. Ring of Honor World Championship. Chris Jericho retains against Dalton Castle. And with a little bit of a tragic ending to the main event for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley gets a victory over Hangman Adam Page due to stoppage. We're going to just go sidetrack real quick. I'm wishing the best for Hangman. That was a pretty bad landing. He came off that clothesline from Mox, and it looked like he might have had a little bit of a concussion there. So, well wishes to Hangman. Hopefully we'll have him back in the ring sooner than later, but hopefully he takes care of himself first. Then we're going to go into the Rampage results for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Suzume Daddy, the Acclaimed, gets their victory over Josh the Goods Woods and Tony Nese. For the FTW Championship, Hook gets the victory over Daivari. And a very special match, Willow Nightingale, who just earned her All Elite Wrestling contract that night, gets the victory over Layla Gray. And for the All-Atlantic Championship in a 3-way match, champion Orange Cassidy retains against Roosh and Dark Order's number 10. What's your thoughts this week on AEW, Will?
Oh, this was absolutely loaded, stacked. There wasn't a single match that I really had a problem with. Everything turned out really great. Like you said, to Hangman Page, we hope you get better soon.
Yeah, I found AEW's programming, well, their television programming, a little weird this week because all but one match was a championship match this week.
Yeah.
It was something that seems a little unusual for just regular TV events. Heather, how about your thoughts?
I liked it. So they was calling it Title Tuesday, so that's why most of them was championship matches. And I was happy that Willow got her All Elite graphic finally, and that with Hangman and Moxley, that he did tweet out that he was all right. So I saw that. But yeah, I enjoyed the show all around, and it just packed as usual. But yeah, the shows were all good. The Dynamite and Rampage were really good both.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't feel like anything was real bad. I kind of felt Rampage kind of lacked a little bit, but some of the promos that we've seen, like Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose, I've enjoyed that. I think that's going to be a great feud, and hopefully it's going to pay out at the end.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I'm loving that.
I actually watched the previous week's Rampage because I had at least an extra hour to kind of look at that. Thought it was pretty cool to watch her sneak away from Jade Cargill and the baddies. And was it this week where, yeah, it was this week. Nyla Rose ends up taking Jade's car and rides off away. That was actually a pretty good way to keep the storyline going, just to add, or not add, but dig the dagger deeper into the heart, you can say.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny when she drove off in the car.
Then I was a little lost on, because when I got back, I heard Orange Cassidy had won the All Atlantic Championship, which Will told me actually when he came back to camp last weekend. It was a pretty interesting programming, and when I came back and saw what all was going on, I'm like, oh yeah, I missed quite a bit of programming this week that was really good. Oops.
Yeah, I watched where he had won, but I can't really remember. But I remember he won, and then he retained against 10 and then Roosh, and I thought that was a really good match.
Yeah, it's very weird to see a little guy defeat two bigger guys. I mean, Orange Cassidy definitely not the biggest guy, but when you look at Dark Order's 10 and Roosh, it's like, how the hell did that guy not get sandwiched?
Yeah, Orange Cassidy really he does his comedy role and all that, but he is a really good wrestler when you look at him and the moves that he can pull off and everything. With him being smaller, he can do a little bit more the agile stuff and the flippy shit, that everybody wants to say. Hey, but he really is a good wrestler.
He is. He is. I think he's a little more underestimated by the general wrestling fan.
Yeah, I think so too.
Seeing how he wrestled, the last couple of years, especially getting the victories, a couple of victories over Chris Jericho. This guy's got it. He's main event or main roster talent level. Still not quite sure, I would say, world championship material. And that might surprise me later on. I don't know for sure. Another thing I want to talk on is the MJF promo with William Regal. Did that pretty much hit everyone in the feelers there?
Yeah, it did me. It really did. It did me. And then I like the other part when he was talking about William Regal said that he was too young at 19 to be a wrestler, and then William Regal was like, I didn't think you were too young, but he was talking about how he was 16 when he started out wrestling and everything, and he was getting beat up every night and bleeding and all that. He didn't think MJF was cut out for it at that young of an age.
Well, yeah, no. I don't spend a whole lot of time watching promos. Just, how I am about that. But this is one that I sat down and watched, and I loved every second of it. Every now and then you got to step away and really deliver a more serious side.
Yeah. I think in some ways, if you were watching the reaction between the two in the ring at that time, it felt like they were trying to one-up each other on who could cut the better promo. And MJF did a damn good promo. I will give him that. But we saw... Take a swig of water there, why don't you? But we definitely could see how William Regal is one of the most respected veterans in the business. The way he rebutted MJF's promo was very real, and it shows you how brilliant the guy is to the wrestling business.
Well, I can't wait to see his son.
Oh yeah, when he starts kicking it in NXT, I think he's going to end up being more NXT Europe though.
Yeah.
But either way, if he sticks with the USA and regular NXT, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. His son's going to be great. I hope he's able to have a much better career than, well, get more accolades than what his father was able to do.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at the history of William Regal, if you weren't really paying attention, he was always an extremely vicious and talented technical wrestler.
And he played I guess you can say, kind of like your TV villain very well.
Yeah.
Another thing I really wanted to talk about, how about Dalton Castle in the Chris Jericho match? Was that a classic Ring of Honor style match? Well, I guess you can't really say to that because you never watched much of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's not going to do me much good. It was an excellent match. I mean, I've always been impressed with Castle. Just every time I watch him wrestle, he's amazing. And to be able to go toe-to-toe and kind of work with Jericho as good as he has.
Yeah, and I was a little lost because the last time I think I really watched Dalton Castle, he got rid of the boys, and for quite some time when I haven't been watching Ring of Honor, the Independents, I guess they reconciled at some point because they're the current Ring of Honor six-man tag champs, which is really an interesting thing to see. However, what do you think of that match, Heather?
I liked it. I've never really watched Dalton Castle, and I really didn't watch much of Ring of Honor, but I thought it was a really good match. The whole thing with the boys when Jake Hager was outside the ring and they was beating him down and stuff, but then when they took his hat and he exploded out on there, that was a fun part of the match. But the match all around was a good match. I enjoyed it. And just seeing him going up against Chris Jericho and being able to hold his own and everything, but which of course I'm guessing, he was a really good wrestler anyway, but like I said, I never really watched him wrestle that much.
Wow, you two just made me feel like the oddball of the three now. Thank you. Carlos, let's go ahead and get you on here, bud. While we're waiting for Carlos,
Hello, how's it going?
There you are. Hey, Carlos.
I got your back for Ring of Honor, John. I got your back.
Thank God. Somebody else. I guess I'm not the only oddball then. Thank you, Carlos. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no, I used to come on. I loved it because we used to come on here on our channel. I think it was my CBS affiliate all the time. So I used to watch it every week. So yeah, no, I thought it was a great match. But again, my only bad takeaway from that was you had Jake Hager being up 2/3 of the six-man tag champions like they're nothing. And so to me, it's like, okay, so is Ring of Honor equal or is it not? Like I just feel like the direction of that's being kind of misplaced a little bit,
Well, if you really go back to Ring of Honor. Excuse me. If you go back to Ring of Honor when it was on its own, the boys, they weren't known as strong men either. I mean, obviously, Dalton carried them on their first six-man tag reign. This one, not any different. I mean, the boys are just there to kind of help spotlight Dalton a little more again. But yeah, I get what
sure,
but yeah, it's really hard to see when you got four guys beating one guy and one guy all of a sudden outpowers them all. Now, unless they're the Big Show, that's one thing. But Jake Hager's not the Big Show. He's not 7 foot tall, 400-pound guy. I mean, four of those guys should have been able to kept Jake Hager down.
And the whole thing about my hat, I was like, oh, good Lord. I was like, oh, my goodness.
And the hat was like the Undertaker's urn. It brought Jake Hager's power out of him. It's like, good God.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
but I thought AEW had a good week. For me, I think I love about wrestling is like we all have our things we love about it. And so for me, like where Will doesn't like this, whenever he talks, I love the segments, because that's what I'm looking for in AEW now for me. Because I'm looking for more storyline and for some more, just good talking, And I thought like two different sides of the thing for me was MJF had a great story, but then you had like the whole build up to Orange Cassidy defending the title. I thought that was so cheesy, like, oh, I'm behind the bar, here I am, it's like there's two different spectrums of it, and I think that's where AEW needs to work on. Like, with AEW, we're going to get good action, but I am looking for the better storytelling.
Oh, you must be in your car or something.
I'm walking. It's kind of windy today.
Oh.
I'm taking a walk.
Yeah, we can definitely hear that.
Sorry. Mother Nature. Mother Nature is the hill today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, we're going to bring on CJ. He's been... Looked like he was requesting the mic there. Hey, CJ, go ahead and throw in if you got something for AEW there.
Hey, what's up, guys? I said it was a wrestling space, and I haven't seen the wrestling space on Twitter yet, so I was very interested. I'm pro WWE. I am giving AEW a chance, though, and I like it so far. Just like what Carlos said, I just wish there were more storylines involved.
Right, and that's one thing about AEW is when they first made their announcement, they pretty much let everybody know they're bringing back the pro wrestling part. Much like the Jim Crockett days, WCW, when they first transitioned away from Jim Crockett. However, WCW got with the times later on and started doing more storylines, and that's what got them to finally compete a little bit better with the WWE. But I don't think AEW's quite there yet. They still need to get a team that can do much better creative when it comes to the storylines for sure. However, AEW is unique because, like I mentioned, they are pro wrestling first, and some of us older guys like me, we kind of have a hard time moving on with the newer stuff. I mean, I'm starting to come around with WWE's newer stuff now. It's getting a lot better for sure.
He left.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Oh, wonder if maybe it was a connection thing. But anyhow,
I don't know.
Anywho, I guess that's why I wasn't getting a reaction out of him. Hopefully he does come back, though, because we haven't quite got to our WWE segment. Anyways, did you have any other takes on AEW there, Carlos?
It was just a hard week, especially with the end, the whole Mox and Hangman. So for me, I feel like it was good. I mean, actually, like I said, it's what I come to expect from AEW. They had great action. The wrestling was awesome. But for me, again, too, seeing Orange Cassidy on both shows, where's Ricky Starks, where's Hobbs? I want to see. I get what Tony's doing, trying to get Ring of Honor time on TV, but at the same time, I want to see the guys that kind of made the company too. So I feel like it's kind of in a weird flux right now. But I mean, no complaints. It was really good action, And anytime they claim her on TV, I'm going to be happy. But and again, I was really happy for Willow too. I mean, that was well deserved. That was a great moment. I thought Rampage was a good show. But for me, it was just I would have liked to see Ten and Roosh get the spotlight by themselves. I didn't really think the match needed Orange Cassidy.
Yeah,
it was a good show. It was there's again, it's what we come to expect. But again, I do want to see Tony Khan just kind of build a team and get better storytelling and just be just better ways of doing it. Not just, hey, we showed up this week, we're gonna have a match. But again, I do love the action. So I mean, again, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, that was the thing that didn't make sense is they didn't really give a reason why Orange Cassidy got inserted into that whole thing and then puts his title on the line. I'm just I thought that kind of defeated the purpose of the All-Atlantic Championship because I thought that was supposed to be defended mostly off TV to represent the brand, and here we are, we're seeing it being defended more on the TV for the brand. But,
I think the belt in the backpack is bugging me big time. Oh my gosh, it's bugging me.
Yeah.
I loved Warrior, but I used to hate when he threw the belt. I mean, he's my ultimate favorite, but I used to hate when he used to throw the belt. And seeing Orange Cassidy with that in the back, I know it's his gimmick, but oh, come on, dude, wear the belt out to the ring.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to take away the genuine part of his character either.
No, for sure. And I guess for me too, I also think they should have reversed it. I think best friends should be the trios champions. And I think they should have kept the All-Atlantic belt on Pac. I think that's something they got wrong in booking, in my opinion.
Yeah, and see, I think I would have left that All-Atlantic Championship on Pac for...
Exactly. I would have had him having to defend all over the world, and I would have put the Trios Championships on the Best Friends. I would have done reverse.
Right. I agree with that one for sure. And then the whole Scissor Me Daddy, holy Judas Priest.
Oh, it's so over. People are going nuts. Again, it's just cool to see those guys. They've earned it, you know.
They did.
You know, it was good. It's all good. I love it, you know.
Well, and I love the fact that it keeps the smart Mark Sterling character alive too, because it's like he's trying to sit here and trademark everything away from all the other talent, and it just comes back to backfire.
He just needs a stronger stable than Tony Nese and Josh Woods. He needs a bigger star with them. That's all.
Yes, for sure.
But because if he had a bigger star with them, it'd be better. But you know, all they do is lose, so he just needs bigger star power with them. But I agree. It's a fun little gimmick. You know, I like it.
Well, they need to get a winning momentum going, and I think Josh the Woods Goods and
Josh the Goods Woods.
Thank you.
Josh the Goods Woods.
Jesus. I promise.
They're called the varsity. Yeah.
I haven't even had a mojito yet, and I can't even fucking talk. Shit. Of course, the last time
Mother Nature.
The last time I had mojitos, though, it got me in trouble on Twitter, so I got to be careful.
Oh my goodness.
But anyways, I think Josh the Goods Woods and Tony Nese, they can win. They're just not booking them right. But
yeah, I mean, but I also stronger, it'd be better. Yeah.
But I also see your point. Smart Mark Sterling needs to get more stable mates in there to help them out a little bit, I guess you can say.
Absolutely. And just change it up, too. It can't always just be those two guys, you know?
No. Anyways,
they got the roster for it.
Yeah, they do.
I mean,
and I think we both agree that's where Tony Khan needs to finally just give up that power, get a creative team, but also get a talent relations team. And
absolutely, you know,
get them to work together. And that's the one thing WWE's making right now. That's why they're kind of coming off the better brand. Sorry, Augusto All Elite, but you're going to have a hard time debating that one.
You just got muted.
yeah.
But like I said, it was all great for me. I don't want to see Orange Cassidy on both shows when I'm not getting into Ricky Starks or Will Hobbs or Eddie Kingston. I'd rather see those guys get a chance than having someone appear on both shows.
All right, we're back for our short little break. For many of you who don't get commercials from the platforms, hope you enjoyed the little bit of music there. We're going to go right to the WWE side. Let's start with the Monday Night Raw results. Kind of a little odd one because, like I said, where I've been missing the last 2 weeks, the OC, it's weird to see them back in the WWE. They managed to defeat the Alpha Academy. Damage Control defeats, which was pretty much a little bit of an upset, I guess you can say, Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae. Baron Corbin, making his return on Monday Night Raw, gets the victory over Dolph Ziggler. And this one really shocked me. Dominic Mysterio defeating AJ Styles. That's major upset. And Seth freaking Rollins defeats Matt Riddle for the United States Championship. It's for NXT, Rhea Ripley in a Choose Your Poison match defeats Roxanne Perez. Stacks comes up short against Shinsuke Nakamura thanks to his mentor Tony D'Angelo. Alba Fire gets the victory over JC Jane. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams gets the victory over Oro Mensah and Wesley. Cameron Grimes with the OC defeats Schism. And Quincy Elliott. I'm like, my notes got merged there. Quincy Elliott gets the victory over Zion Quinn. quit laughing at me. And Cora Jade gets the victory via DQ over her old tag team partner, Raquel Rodriguez. Going into SmackDown, we have Solo Sikoa get an impressive victory over Sheamus. Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville go to a double countout. Boo. Damage Control retains their WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi. And Rey Mysterio gets the victory over Ludwig Kaiser. We're just going to cover Halloween Havoc in the next segment, but Heather, let's start with you. What's your takes on WWE's regular programming for the week?
I didn't really, I couldn't really get into it. Like, I don't know if it's because I was just tired or what, but I don't know. I really didn't like it. I don't know. I didn't really get into any of it. But it could have been just because I was just tired. But it's good to see Baron Corbin back instead of Happy Corbin. You know, I'm glad that's back. Because the Happy Corbin was just not getting it for me. I thought it was stupid. And I'm really over the Seth and Riddle stuff. Like, okay, how many matches are we gonna have with that? And like Dom beating AJ. Okay, that was just dumb. Because I don't like Dom being in the Judgment Day. Because like I told you before, he just does not fit.
Can I say that's kind of ironic? You're judging with Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Continue. You're good.
But yeah, I just, I don't know. And just like the whole Damage Control, I like them. I like they're a strong team and everything. But they're just bad because being teamed up with Bayley. Not bad like they're bad wrestlers, but just bad, because it's like Bayley being bad and the attitude and all that stuff. But I think they're doing a good job. But yeah, and I don't like that Logan Paul is going up against Roman Reigns. The whole match is just pointless because you already know who's going to come out on top. But I'm still loving the whole thing with Sami Zayn and Roman and the Usos, and he's finally got Solo to break because he said he's been trying to get Solo to break, and he finally did. But yeah, it really didn't do it for me. But I mean, like I said, it might have just been because I was tired.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with Heather on this one. For me, it just came up kind of stagnant for the most part. There's like maybe one or two good matches for each program. I found more of the highlights with other things going on, like the promos, whatnot. Welcome back, Elias. He's coming back as Elias. That's a wrong that needed to be corrected. Obviously, the KO show had me absolutely giggling. And then, of course, Logan Paul got poked quite a few times before he gave back.
Well, I would say that was a killer shot he landed on Jey Uso.
Oh yeah, that was a full-on swing. Also, like Heather said, I'm glad they're putting more focus back on Baron Corbin, not Happy Corbin or whatever. Again, like she said, the Rollins and Riddle thing, I'm over it too. The OC, I'm glad to see them back. I think I've seen them having more fun doing what they do on their return.
Well, and didn't it just kind of seem like they were done wrong after that cinematic match with AJ Styles and The Undertaker at WrestleMania?
Absolutely.
I mean, it was weird because they had a pretty good role in that, and then I think it was only like a week or two later they were released, and nobody ever... I don't think they were quite using the whole budget cut horse shit then. I think it was just they didn't have anything for them at the time. And like I said, yeah, they definitely had some disjustice like some of the other talent. They were released too early and there was no real reason why. I think there could have been a lot of things they could have done with them that involved, the tag title picture, for sure.
Yeah. And another issue I'm having is they just keep on giving that Raw deal to Zion.
Yeah, I don't get that.
You've got an absolute talent there, and you just keep crapping on it.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like when Vince McMahon was crapping on a lot of Hunter's guys.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what's going on, or maybe they're trying to get ready to repackage him. Maybe that's the path they're going to go with him. I don't know. It's almost kind of like seeing Veer Mahan with Sangha in NXT now.
Yeah.
I just scratched my head, but maybe it'll end up paying off in the end.
Well, they need to do something with Zion.
Yeah, right. They do. I think it's a missed opportunity there.
No offense to Quincy Elliott. Honestly, I'm still scratching my head on Quincy Elliott, but...
Yeah, it's a different character.
It's definitely different.
It's got the fans over. That's the key part. Is if it's getting the fans into it. I'm sure Carlos is popping big for it.
Oh, I will admit that Halloween Havoc, Quincy got me.
Right, yeah. Especially with the whole...
The twerking banana. Yeah. Just, wow.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
No, but overall, I thought it was decent for this week. For WWE, I just don't think it had much impact.
No. Well, here I'll give my takes. I thought Monday Night Raw started strong with Lashley, Jesus. With Lashley and Lesnar going at it for that first little bit, and then they finally divided them. I would have liked that scene to go a little bit longer, honestly.
Like I said, this week I actually found the promos and the other things to be the more entertaining thing.
Well, yeah. But unfortunately, that was the only one out of Raw. Well, I take that back. I thought Gargano, The Miz, and Dexter Lumis promos were actually pretty good. Johnny Gargano getting The Miz going, confusing Byron with Dexter Lumis. Oh, common mistake. No, that's not a common mistake. But I do like to see Gargano's humorous side too, so that was pretty good. As far as Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins, I don't know if I'm tired of it, but I think this championship match was a way to end it. You have Rollins up on Riddle now 2-1, so I don't really see a sense to having it go any further.
Is it 2-1? I thought it was 3-1.
Well, Rollins got the first match on him. I can't remember if it was SummerSlam or something before that, and then Riddle got the Fight Pit match on Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
And then they had the United States Championship match here on Raw.
I don't think that was necessary.
No, I thought it was too early, to be honest. That should have happened probably more at Crown Jewel or the next event, Survivor Series.
Yep.
Who knows? We may end up seeing them in War Games and Survivor Series, which I'm really looking forward to. I think that's going to be killer to have that on the actual main roster side and not NXT. I know Heather's going to want to slap the shit out of me, but I think it was actually a good call to have Dom get the victory over AJ Styles.
That's
storyline wise.
That's actually one that I agree with you on as well. I think AJ did an incredible job of making Dom look a lot better.
Right. Dom still definitely needs work, but he's not going to get better unless they utilize him, and I think they're going the right direction. They just need to change his look.
Yeah, he may not be so much good going on with Judgment Day, but he definitely needs that work that you were talking about.
Yeah. And JBL, can that guy work a fucking crowd or what?
Well, yeah.
I loved how he was trying to get a little bit emotional and then just totally shits on the Oklahoma crowd. Nothing against Oklahoma, but it was just the classic Texas-Oklahoma feud.
Yeah, he's certainly Texan.
Oh, he knows how to rile anybody up. NXT, I thought it was actually a pretty good show for their normal programming. There really wasn't anything Well, I take that back. I thought every single match on there worked pretty well to lead up to their Halloween Havoc event.
The NXT was the show that I thought rocked it this week.
Yeah.
Because they pretty much had solid everything except for a crap match DQ.
Yeah, I didn't like that. However, it led up to Roxanne Perez trying to come out and get some revenge on Cora Jade.
Yeah, which is what I wrote it down as a precursor.
Yeah. SmackDown, like I said, I love the fact that Solo Sikoa got a victory over Sheamus. Makes him look a lot stronger. The double count out with Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville. Didn't like that. Rey Mysterio with Ludwig Kaiser. It was a pretty good match.
Yeah.
It definitely belonged in the main event role. The women's tag team championship match kind of seemed a little sloppy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
It did.
But it just seemed like WWE's programming was a little, I guess you can say, slow in a way.
Yeah.
The wrestling wasn't great, but like you said, the promos kind of made up for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was definitely a weird week for WWE for sure. Yeah, and just looking into our chat room, still looks like the same four. So, Carlos, go ahead and come on up, boss, and give us your thoughts on WWE this week.
Like for me, the whole JBL promo, that was like a mic drop, like you guys said already. I like that he brought Vince McMahon's suit out for a homage. That was nice, For me, like again, it was just really good, like to see for him, and all of a sudden he turned Ultimate Heel back. It was like wrestling lesson 101 for all the new people. And again, I thought it was a good show. I mean, the thing about NXT that I didn't like is that the NXT / SmackDown / Raw Super Show. I feel like they, especially after watching Halloween Havoc, which I know we're going to get into, I thought that they should have just really let the stars shine more, and it should have been more of a build up to just the Halloween Havoc show and letting the guys who had matches there be more on the card instead of all the guys from Raw and SmackDown. But it is what it is. But I agree. I love Solo Sikoa. I get Umaga vibes from him big time. I think he's going to be like the next little assassin, Samoan assassin, and he's doing a really good job. Just his facial expressions, and then again, main event Jey Uso with Sammy, I think is gold. Again, it's just they can't miss with that stuff. It's really good.
Yeah,
and again,
go ahead.
And again, I just like seeing Triple H righting the wrongs that were done before, like bringing the OC back. Because they got done really bad for his big talk to them to get them to stay there instead of going to AEW. So I just, I like all the people he's been bringing back. And it's like, and again, for me right now, it's like this time of just like righting the wrongs that were done by Vince. But now it's time to see it all put into action more. Now I am looking for better uses of the talent and stuff like that. I would like to see them bring like tag teams from NXT up for Raw, just for single matches or in a contract instead of always having the Alpha Academy lose every week. They're better than that.
Yeah, that one I'm still a little bothered by. It just feels like we had these guys as tag team champions not too long ago, and then all of a sudden they're like yesterday's news. I don't get that.
And again, for me, like I get, like if you need tag teams to come lose to other tag teams, again, use the developmental brand for that, and that could be a way that they eventually earn their call-ups. Like they could lose, they want to suffer from that, and eventually they can start winning matches and get the call-up.
For sure. One thing I will say, I do agree the fact that we shouldn't really be showcasing the main event talent or main roster talent on NXT. However, if you go back to the original ways of NXT, it used to be that the new upcoming wrestlers would have one of the veterans as their coach. I kind of wouldn't mind seeing that kind of come back, but you don't necessarily need to have the main event talent or main roster talent with the new upcoming talent. Just say,
and especially not, yeah.
I think,
especially not. No, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. What I was trying to get at was I would like to see where you're starting to see the theme of stables come back in WWE's programming. What they ought to do with NXT is come up with camps and say all these certain talents under one wrestler's camp, another set of talent is under this wrestler's camp. That's kind of the direction I think NXT should go in if they're going to keep going this route. But I do agree.
Yeah,
I think we need to see the newer talent rise and shine on their own and not have the help of the main roster talent.
And again, for me, it was really going into a live event, like a premium live event. It was like their go home show to build that thing, and it was just kind of taken away because they were trying to beat AEW in the ratings. So and again, so it's like they should just. And again, I think like we're going to talk about it later. The talent proved itself at the premium live event. Like they should have let their talent utilize more. And I agree with you. Like I want to see someone like a Shinsuke who's kind of lost. Like go to NXT for like a year, like Finn Balor did. Build a stable, build him back up to like the King of Strong style, then go back to SmackDown. Like deal with the couple stars, but not just picking and choosing here and there.
Right. Did you have anything else, Will?
No, I don't have anything else until we get to
Into the Havoc?
Yep.
Heather, did you have anything else?
No, I didn't. I'm just waiting on Halloween Havoc too.
Oh, well, fine on all of you. I'm just kidding. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to do our coverage on NXT's Halloween Havoc 2022. (2022) NXT's Halloween Havoc. The results for the North American Championship, which was a ladder match. Wesley gets that title away from Carmelo Hayes, Von Wagner, Oro Mensah. I don't know why I have a hard time with that name. And
Nathan Fraser.
Nathan Fraser. God, I had a hard time with both those names. That's pretty shitty. And I just watched the event live. Anyways, yeah, in the casket match, Apollo Crews gets his revenge on Grayson Waller. In the Weapons Wild match, Roxanne Perez defeats Cora Jade. In the ambulance match, wait a minute, was that? I missed a match somewhere.
No, you didn't.
Okay, the ambulance match was first. So
yeah, then you
Julius Creed gets the victory over Damon Camp.
Yep.
NXT Women's Championship match, Mandy Rose retains against Alba Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And in the NXT Championship match, Braun Breaker retains over Ilya Dragunov. Ilya, thank you. And JD McDonough. Since I went to Heather last, what's your takes on it? Talking to you, Will.
Okay.
Sorry.
This was basically the shining star of the entire wrestling week, in my opinion. Like, there wasn't even a single part of this program that was terrible. It was all great. The ladder match was superb. I was really, actually very impressed with Von Wagner's pinpoint accuracy. He's getting a lot better. The unfortunate part was that bad spill that Mensah took onto the apron.
Oh, yeah.
That had me a little bit worried. The Waller versus Apollo. It was an excellent match. I love the fact that Waller still stuck to his heel guns. Poked a little bit of fun at The Undertaker, but there was plenty of references in that match to The Undertaker. So,
oh, yeah.
So I appreciated that. Cora versus Perez. Absolutely freaking awesome. I can tell you right now that I wouldn't do half of the things that those two are willing to do to go to extremes. Like, I'm not about to take a 15-foot drop through a table that's got a bolt cutter sitting on top of it.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh my God, I wonder if they knew that bolt cutter was sitting there.
Yeah, and then, I gotta say it, with the dancing 300, 400 pound banana twerking with Quincy Elliott it was a pretty good break from what was going on.
I was hoping to actually watch a full-on match between Shotzi and
I'm surprised.
Lash Legend.
I'm surprised if they took the time to do that they didn't go full-on match.
Yeah, I think that would have made it better, that whole segment much better.
As far as Julius Creed versus Camp, this was a good, brutal match, and I really, really loved how much they star-cased Julius on this.
Well, not only Julius, but Damon Kemp looked pretty good, too.
I haven't seen much of Damon Kemp, so I was really actually pretty happy with that, too. The Alba Fire versus Mandy Rose. I know that they're aiming at more than just one demographic as to the age range, but I found the beginning corny.
Yeah, I didn't really. Well, a big shout out to Brian Ballard. The event kind of seemed a little too gimmicky,
Yeah.
the whole event, but Halloween Havoc has always been kind of a gimmick pay-per-view, even when it was in its WCW days.
Other than that, it was a damn good match. Go ladies. I absolutely loved it. And then we go on to the triple threat for the NXT championship. There was nothing short of effing amazing about this match.
Yeah,
They killed it.
well, yeah, they took it to each other big time.
Yeah. So that's my take on it. I just absolutely loved this. This was my shining star for the week.
Awesome. Heather, let's get your takes.
I've thoroughly enjoyed the whole show. Like, it was just awesome. I know you saw my tweets. I was like, how I was talking about how brutal the matches were. Like the ladder match, like it was really good. The whole thing with Grayson Waller and Apollo Crews, where he fell through the casket and then they were, replaced the casket because, you're supposed to close the casket on them. I thought that was kind of weird, but like, I enjoyed the match. And then, like, the whole thing with Mandy Rose and Alba Fire when they started out with the Haunted House, that was, like, kind of lame. But the match was actually good. And, like, Cora Jade, not Cora, was it Cora Jade?
Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez?
Yeah, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, like, that was a really good match when they dove off up there and landed through the table. I thought that was insane. I was like, what are y'all doing? That's like too much, but it was really good. And like I said, the ladder match for me was the match of the night. That was a really great match, and I liked the triple threat match at the end. And Braun retain, of course, but like all overnight, the whole show was just awesome. And Julius Creed and Damian Kemp was a really good match. And Julius Creed took all them hits and stuff, getting his hands slammed in the ambulance door. But which, like you said, Brian Ballard said, and I agree, that Julius Creed is not meant for a singles run. He is meant to be a tag partner. And if his brother had not, if he had lost and his brother had not been able to be part of NXT anymore, I don't think he would have lasted, because he is meant to be a tag partner. I don't think he's ready for a singles run. But like I said, the show overall was just excellent to me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Brian Ballard when he did his tap out talk last night. The North American Championship ladder match was definitely match of the night. Unfortunately, we've been seeing that a lot with not just WWE but AEW's big events. It seems like the opening match is always the best one, and I don't know, maybe we need to find ways to make those matches more the ender or the end of the program lately. Anyhow, yeah, I do agree. That was definitely match of the night. Casket match, yeah, that one. And I'm sure you saw my tweet on that, Heather. I wrote, "Nice try, Grayson Waller. That's not how a casket match works." Yeah, the point of a casket match is you actually have to put your opponent in the casket and then close it. So yes, technically you did not win. Sorry. But the Weapons Wild match did get me a little bit. I kind of thought it went just a little too long. However, those ladies went out there and they put their bodies on the line and still did an excellent job. Didn't really take away the entertainment value of the match, so kudos to both those ladies. The ambulance match, I'm kind of in between Will and you and Brian Ballard on that one. I thought Julius showed a lot of different qualities being in a singles match. I do agree he should stick with his brother. I think they have a good family tag team legacy. They can do just like what the Steiner brothers did when they were in WCW. Unfortunately, I don't want to highlight the Steiner brothers in their WWF careers because it wasn't really that memorable, unfortunately. But yeah, going into the NXT Women's Championship match, did not like the cinematic haunted house deal. I was just maybe going a little too over the top with that. They should have just kept with keeping the match in the ring and all that. Other than that, it was still a good match. I agreed with keeping the title on Mandy Rose. Sorry, Execution 84 or Sarah Golding, but I have to agree with the call on this. They really should continue that reign for Mandy Rose. And in the main event, it really could have been anyone's game. I mean, any of those three guys could have won the championship, and I think they would have made it look really good. However, I think, keeping Braun Breaker as champion is not a bad call. He definitely could still remain a dominant force there as the top guy for NXT. Overall, I thought the event was great. Again, the thing brought up by most general wrestling fans was it seemed too gimmicky, but as I mentioned earlier with Will, Halloween Havoc has always been known as a gimmicky pay-per-view, even in its WCW days. That was the whole point of the pay-per-view. And anybody who disagrees, I really encourage you to watch the very first Halloween Havoc and all the way through its transition from WCW and into WWE. Not saying it had its greatest, was the greatest pay-per-view of all time for WCW. I mean, we saw a lot of stupid matches. In fact, wasn't it we had the White Castle, right?
Mm-hmm.
The White Castle, that triple layer cage match involving Hogan and Savage.
Yeah.
Going against the Horsemen in Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah, no, they've always been goofballs and clowns with the Halloween Havoc thing, and if you're a true pro wrestling fan, then you've really, really just known that about that program.
Well, and you saw the return of Ravishing Rick Rude into the Dangerous Alliance coming in as the Phantom, and I'm trying to remember, I think it was against the Z-Man when he came back, and immediately right after, that's when Paul Heyman, back then known as Paulie Dangerously, was getting the rivalry between Sting and Rick Rude for the United States Championship then. There was a lot of great moments in Halloween Havoc history, and I really encourage all wrestling fans, if you have the Peacock Network, definitely go back and watch a lot of them. You'll see a lot of cheesy shit, believe me, but you'll actually enjoy the Halloween theme for sure. Before we go away from this segment, Carlos, go ahead and mic up. I'd like to hear your thoughts on the Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, I think the point, like, what again, shout out Brian the High Valor too. I think the thing that they need to do next year, if they're going to do Halloween Havoc, if they're going to do Extreme Rules, they need to move it away from the Halloween Havoc time, because I think those two shows closer to each other was what people were saying. They were next year, if they're going to keep an event like Extreme Rules, move it to a different time, so that way Halloween Havoc and them aren't back to back. Because that was the one thing where it was too gimmicky. But I think yesterday, like, honestly, what I saw was a lot of future WrestleMania main eventers. Like, for me, like, 'cause I worked last night, so I was starting to watch it at the gym, and I was starting to watch the ladder match. Like, oh no, this is too good. So I stopped watching it because, like, I got to get home and watch it and get full attention to it. I was really happy for Wesley, especially everything he went through with his partner, and it was him just feeling kind of lost. I feel like he kind of paid his dues for that. And again, it was just a beautiful moment. Like, that's the kind of moments that us fans go for. Again, I mean, I was joking with Jack Cassidy the other day too. We were talking about all the people they're putting on NXT. I was like, maybe they'll bring back Undertaker for one more match. And then when Grayson Waller started doing those things, I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe he's going to come out for a second, But he didn't. But again, that was a good match. I like Grayson Waller. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of him, but I like The Miz too. So again, I like those guys a lot. I think Roxana Perez. I could see her as honestly as the Daniel Bryan of the women's division eventually. Like, I see her definitely main eventing in WrestleMania. Again, I could just, because she's so small in size, I just see her being eventual Daniel Bryan in the women's division, having that kind of storyline. I love Julius Creed. I think, again, I don't want to see them break up anytime soon, but I do eventually see him as a single star. I think, the energy and just the ruthlessness that he brought out yesterday that match just reminded me of Kurt Angle. Like when they hit that button, and it was just like go time. You know, I loved just seeing him like really just bring it on. And again, Elbow Fire. I think I would just like to see her go back to her old gimmick. You know, her old original name in NXT UK. Maybe it's not over yet, but again, I'm ready to see Mandy Rose lose the title. And again, Braun, they could have put the title on any one of those guys. You know, but again, they're not going to do anything big with Braun Breaker. Keep him in NXT for now. But I thought that main event was a great match. And again, I thought, like you guys already said, I really thought NXT Halloween Havoc took the week for wrestling. It was definitely the highlight of the week. I thought it was excellent overall.
Yeah, I do want to touch base on that casket match like you were mentioning. I was actually kind of hoping The Undertaker was going to be the one that brings the new casket out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They're going to bring him out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely would have been a perfect touch to Halloween Havoc for sure. And do you have anything else, Will?
No, I don't.
All right. Heather, did you want to get one last word in, or are you good?
I'm good.
All right. We're going to take yet another break, and then we're going to get right into our top 10s. Let's get right to our top 10 list. I think, as always, we should always let the ladies go first. What do you think?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, Heather, give us your number 10.
I went ahead and put Roxanne Perez.
All right. Will?
Stacks.
All right. For me, I'm sorry, everyone. I can't believe I had to put this down, but how can you not put him in there with the win over AJ Styles? Dominic Mysterio. So, please don't kill me. You got Heather already giggling. She got that evil laugh going. John, I'm going to take a damn kendo stick to you. Whack, whack, whack. So, anyways, yeah. So, let's go ahead. Heather, number 9.
I put Cameron Grimes. I thought he did good in his match.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird combo to see him with the OC, especially afterwards. You got the OC trying to get money out of him for their services. Especially when you got, was it Gallows trying to get in his trunks or something?
Oh, yeah.
Or Anderson?
Oh, it was Gallows.
Oh, it's like, oh my gosh, guys.
Like I said, I see them having more fun now.
All right, Will, you're number 9.
Okay, before I get to that, quick little apology. This week I noticed that I failed to put any females into my list. My bad.
Heather will kick your ass later. That's okay.
I just want to make it clear I absolutely love the females and think they're doing a better job than the men at this point. So, there's that.
But they didn't make your top 10.
Hey, man, I was in a hurry. My number 9 is Dalton Castle.
Oh, good choice. My number 9, Death Triangle. I think with watching the Lucha Brothers trying to convince Pac, hey, you don't need that damn bell hammer to all the time in all the matches to win and keep the titles. I thought they did a good way of telling the story after the match, so that was a good thing. Heather, you're number 8.
I put Rey Mysterio.
Ooh, that's going to be fun for my later here. Will, you're number 8.
Baron Corbin.
And my number 8 goes to the new All Elite contract person, Willow Nightingale. Heather, number 7.
I put Liv Morgan because I'm liking her new thing. I think she's really good at it.
Yeah. Now, did you find her a little more interesting this week with the whole, I guess you can say, different makeup, different gear?
Yes, I like it. I like what she's doing. I like the new makeup, the new gear, the new more extreme version of her. I think it's the way it's going. I think I'm really gonna like it.
Yeah, let's just hope the booking team doesn't screw this up now. They really made a mess between her and the Rousey feud that hopefully we can get her far past that problem now. But Will, you're number 7?
Yeah, I had to put Daivari in there because he did such an excellent job, and I think the way that they pushed that storyline was pretty entertaining. I mean, he comes out and tries to buy the title.
Yeah. Well, a title that's not really sanctioned either.
From Hook, of all people.
Yeah. Like he's going to give up his father's championship?
No, but Daivari was extremely impressive in that match.
Yeah. No, Davari's a good talent. He just...
Never got booked right.
Well, not booked right, not the right opportunities, just bad timing, unfortunately. But my number 7 goes to Heather's number 8. I put down Rey Mysterio. Heather, your number 6?
I put Orange Cassidy.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Did you?
Oh, crap. My number 6 is Orange Cassidy.
We have a 3-way for the first time in Wrestling Fans Insight history because my number 6 is Orange Cassidy.
Oh, jeez.
Now, when Carlos gives us his top 10, if he says Orange Cassidy in the number 6 spot, we're really gone down. All right, Heather, number 5.
I put Braun Breaker.
Good choice. Will?
Kind of from the same area there, JD McDonough.
Ooh, right in the same match.
Yep.
Well, my number 5 goes to the NXT call-up into SmackDown, Solo Sikoa. Number 4 for you, Heather?
I hope I say this right. Ilya Dragunov? Is that it?
Ilya, yeah.
Yeah, Will can pronounce it right. I can't. I don't think I can spell it right, so I'm going to have to kind of cheat off the websites. Will?
So I want to say this was a difficult week, just because most of my picks, I try to keep it even, 5 and 5 between the two programmings. So I've got some multiples in here because, Halloween Havoc ended up being most of my highlights for WWE. So number 4 is Roosh and Dark Order's 10.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But, it's your top 10 list, so you don't have to make it even. It's your top 10.
It's about to get worse.
Wait a minute here. How can it go worse?
You'll see.
Oh. All right, my number 4, I give it to the Ocho, Chris Jericho. Heather, number 3.
Wesley.
Awesome. You'll find out why. Will, you're number 3?
Here we go. A whole bunch of guys getting some shout outs here. We're going to go with Best Friends and Death Triangle.
Yeah, that's 6 guys in one.
Yep.
So is this kind of more like a...
This is my list.
So you kind of did like a top 17 more than you did a top 10.
Hey, I originally considered doing a top 30, so...
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know if our audience could hang on that long, so... But my number 3, interesting enough, with Heather, is Wesley. I thought he had a great showing and got his just due winning that North American Championship last night. Heather, we're down to our final 2. Who do you have?
I put Hangman Adam Page. He really did good, and I was sorry, that he got injured because it really was a good match. So I put him as my number 2.
Yep, and once again, sending our well wishes, thoughts and prayers to Hangman Adam Page. Hope he makes a 100% recovery, and we'll see him in the ring when he's ready. Will, you're number 2?
Had to be Julius Creed.
No. Good one. My number 2 goes to the reigning NXT Women's Champion, Mandy Rose. And down to our number 1, which mine will be a little surprising. But Heather, who do you have as your top?
Moxley.
John?
Moxley.
Oh, how did I figure this one? Someone's got a thing for John Moxley, I swear.
Yeah, I do.
All right, Will, you're number 1.
Yeah, Ilya Dragunov.
Good choice. My number 1, which is going to be surprising because it's not really a wrestler, but I feel he deserves it, especially making the right call in the AEW Dynamite's main event. My number one goes to Ref Paul Turner for recognizing that Hangman Adam Page was in a bad way after the unfortunate landing from a clothesline from John Moxley. It's never easy to be the referee. They get a lot of criticism from wrestling fans today, and what wrestling fans don't understand is those referees have to pay more, not just attention to details in the ring, but they also have to pay attention to how the talent is, their well-being, and making sure if they have to make a emergency call, they got to do it. And Paul Turner did his job. And I want to say give a special shout out to Paul Turner for making that decision. With that being said, Carlos, if you're ready to queue up your top 10, let's go ahead and have you give it to us.
Sure. So mine's very NXT heavy because I really think that the whole NXT roster really stepped up. Especially with having some of the spots taken away from the main roster talent on Tuesday. I think they showed out for Halloween Havoc. So my top 10, number 10 for contract, and again, I loved your guys' top 10 too. Number 9 was JBL and Corbin.
Hey, Carlos, you kind of cut out on your number 10. What was your number 10?
Willow Nightingale.
Oh, okay, cool.
The number 9 was JBL and Corbin. Number 8, anytime a Latin star gets a push, I gotta just go for it, So I had to give Dom Mysterio number 8. Number 7's Roxanne Perez. Number 6 is Julius Creed. My number 5 was Braun Breaker. Number 4 was Nathan Frazier. Number 3 was Solo Sikoa. My number 2 was Wesley. And my number 1 was MJF. I mean, I listened to that promo like 5 times. Again, I think it was just golden. I think he really stepped up his character. And again, when you have fans wanting you to be a face when you're such a good heel, that's good stuff. So he gets my number 1 spot this week.
Awesome. Thank you for that top 10, Carlos.
You're welcome.
Great list.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Ref Aubrey. Like, I love how her passion for it, and I just loved in this on AEW when she didn't take no shit from Chris Jericho when he bumped up against her and she bumped back into him. I just love how she doesn't take any shit from anybody and she just does her job and she enjoys her job. That's all I wanted to say. Ref Aubrey is cool.
When my wife and I met her on Chris Jericho cruise, she is definitely one lady I would not want to piss off. She's fun to hang around with, but she'll let you know if you're getting out of hand.
I don't know. I just always liked her from the beginning when I first started watching it. I watched her and I was like, oh my gosh, she's just like the way she got into the matches, her facial expressions and everything that she did. And then like when I watched that match with Chris Jericho, and he bumped up against her and she bumped him right back. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, she doesn't take any shit from nobody.
Ref Aubrey is a pretty cool lady and I think she gets crapped on a lot as a referee because she does a lot of facial expressions and everything. She's just having fun and being a fan and being a referee at the same time. So I think a lot of people could cut her a little bit of slack. I mean, you're taking wrestling way too serious. I've seen her get made fun of a lot, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, but anyhow, I think we're going to wrap that up as our top 10 segment. All right, I just want to give a few podcast shout-outs who always give us some support. First, I want to once again mention Brian Ballard. He does Tap Out Talk. Go visit his YouTube channel, Tap Out Talk. He does an excellent job with every pay-per-view and premium live event. Want to give a shout-out to Hillbilly Hill doing the Heel Truth. He covers nothing more than just heels and does an excellent job with it. Another shout-out to Austin Boyer. He does the Wrestling World podcast, and he does a lot of extensive research into every episode. And also, if you haven't noticed, he's a Bray Wyatt fan. He is not Bray Wyatt, so please quit sliding into his DMs and thinking he is Bray Wyatt. And anybody laughing, yes, it's true, that really has been happening to the poor guy. So, and then one last shout out. even though he didn't care to shout out any podcast in his recent WWE and AEW debate with Austin Boyer. But I'm going to give him a shout out anyways. Agosto All Elite. Go tune into his show. He usually covers the results and gives his reviews on AEW every week, so give him a listen too. Other than that, does anybody else have some shout outs they want to give to anybody out there?
Wrestling with the Truth podcast. They're really good. And NWO Machine, he's got a podcast with Vader from Wish.
Yeah, they call it.
I can't think of the name of it right now.
I think they call it the Shiz Show.
Okay, that's a really good one too.
Yes, love NWO Machine and Vader from Wish. They do a great job. They do a weekly YouTube on mental health shout outs, and like you mentioned, Heather, they have their podcast, The Shiz Show. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, the positivity videos that they do, I really enjoy, and that's a good thing that they do. It's about mental health and just doing positive things, and I think they're both doing a really good thing.
Yes, they are, and we appreciate them very much. Hey, Carlos, did you have anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I just want to shout out some of the friends. Jack Cassidy's a great Twitter account. Execution 84, Sarah, Jay, again, like everyone you guys said, Wrestling Machine, Vader from Wish. Again, I love just all the positivity. And again, my favorite, this one would be a Wrestling with Truth podcast. And again, once they ones you guys shout it out. Again, you guys did a good job already. Thank you guys for all you guys do to engage with us fans.
Oh, we appreciate everybody that's willing to give all the indie podcasts a listen, and we appreciate it. We just like to bring our version of the internet wrestling community together and be more positive and try to stay away from the negative vibes out there for sure. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give them credits. I want to say thank you to Libsyn.com. They are the ones that provide us the hosting for our podcast. So if you're looking to do a podcast, feel free to give them a look. Also, thank you to Pixabay.com, where you've been donating money, but also they let us download royalty-free music from the artist of G-Vidden, Light Saturation, and Coma Media. Also, you can hear us on many of the platforms out there: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Deezer, Ghana, Boomplay, and most, as I've mentioned in the last few podcasts, Good Pods, where we have been getting really good ratings lately. We've been within the top 100 in 3 different categories for the last couple of months, so appreciate it if you give us a listen on there too, but also feel free to subscribe and rate and give us a review where you can on those platforms. And you can also interact with us on Twitter. Heather, you want to give everyone your Twitter handle?
It's at BamaGirl_4_EVA.
All right, and you can Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say Bama Girl Forever is what it is.
All right, and you can catch me on Twitter on 2 different handles. First, our podcast handle at WF Insight Podcast, or you can reach me on my personal at John JOHN WF Insight. Will, did you get your Twitter handle going yet?
So I'm looking at Twitter right now.
Because Carolina's been bugging me, asking me where your Twitter handle is.
Well, how about you just go ahead and help me out with this while I'm still here?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. He hands me his phone. Oh, okay. Well, this one's pretty easy. It's basically his name with a number. So it's at William HOPPE number 8. So William Hoppy 8. If you can get that down, I'll have to add him since he didn't tell me earlier. Carlos, did you want to give your Twitter handle out?
Sure, it's C to the LOS 77.
Awesome. And then you have your company one too, right?
Yeah, Conquer. Yeah, my nonprofit's Conquer the No. Yep. Thank you for that.
Yeah, 2 great accounts Carlos runs there. So give him a follow. He's a great with interacting with everyone when he can. He's busy like I am, so he'll
We
get
do
to
our best.
yeah. He'll get to you when he can. So you can also reach us on Facebook under the groups The Fans of Pro Wrestling. And we are actually in the midst of updating our webpage. If you go to thefansofprowrestling.com, make sure you enter the HTTPS so you're getting into the secure part. It is up and going, so don't. If it's telling you you're not the secure mode, get yourself in the secure mode, please. Plus, we found out for whatever reason the secure browser's actually been getting updated more than the non-secure, so definitely make sure you're getting in the secure side of it. And other than that, I have nothing else. Will, you have anything else?
Nada.
All right. Heather, you got anything else?
No, I don't.
All right. We're going to call it good. This is the end of episode 30, Wrestling Fans Insight Podcast. We will catch you next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward to seeing any of you that can join us. Have a great week and peace out.